Welcome along to Valencia and Circuit Ricardo Tormo for Super Speed Week, the finals weekend for the EuroNASCAR Pro Division. In the first race of the weekend, Alan Day and Mark Werrell were on the front row of the grid, but contact between the pair of them put Werrell off into the gravel at turn number 1. Alan Day would continue in the race, but he was deemed to be the culprit and therefore was given a drive-through penalty. Whilst he served that, it allowed Lasse Sorensen and the reigning EuroNASCAR Pro champion Loris Hazemans to fight it out for victory. Eventually, though, it would be the number 66 car of Lasse Sorensen that would come through to claim the first victory of the weekend. In the second race of the weekend, Alan Day was side-by-side with his teammate Stinis Longines, who joined him on the front row of the grid. Longines having been leading, but retiring from race number 1 with clutch failure. Alan Day would eventually sneak through, though, and grab the lead of the race, and he would return towards victory lane and put himself into the lead of the championship. 285 points he leads by from Lasse Sorensen, coming into these double points races over the course of the weekend. Well, you know the format by now. It's 2 championships, 4 races over the weekend. EuroNASCAR Pro is for the pro drivers. Alan Day leads the way, and the young and the amateur drivers race in EuroNASCAR 2. Vittorio Garelli is the championship leader. Circuit Ricardo Tormo has played host to the NASCAR Wheel in Euro Series since 2012. We're racing on its full configuration, 4 kilometres, 2.5 miles, 14 corners, and a big 650-metre straight. Cold but sunny conditions greet the drivers for what is going to be an 18-lap race for the first of our EuroNASCAR Pro races this weekend. It's the finals, which means it's double championship points. Alan Day popped the number 24 PK Car Sport Chevy onto pole. Let's hear from the pole sitter.
We had some unfortunate luck with some technical issue, so I had to stop earlier, but fortunately it was enough for the pole position. I know that the 50 car of Loris is quick, but I know what is the performance of the PK Car Sport 24 car. So hopefully tomorrow we can start the race good and do the same as today at least.
So the cars are heading onto the grid, ready for this first double points final of the weekend. And it will be Alan Day that has Loris Hazemans for company on the front row of the grid. Stinis Longines and Giorgio Maggi sit there on row number 2, with Ander Villarino returning to the championship on row number 3. Alongside him is Olivier Hart making his debut. Buckle up. We are about to go green for the first time in the finals for EuroNASCAR Pro. The cars charge their way up towards Asper, which is the first corner. Alan Day looking to try and hang on to the lead of the race as they turn their way in towards the very fast left-hander. But it's going to be Loris Hazemans who tucks himself through into second place. Stinis Longines in third. And fourth is Giorgio Maggi at the wheel of the number 18 Hendrix Ford. Side by side in towards the braking area for Duham. Alan Day leads. Can Stinis Longines sneak through into second ahead of Loris Hazemans? Not quite by the look of things. Further down through the order, it's all rather getting tight as well as they charge their way round through turn number 3. But Alan Day has done what he wanted to do. He was out front and leading the race in the early stages, but under pressure from Loris Hazemans, who coming into this weekend lies third in the championship standings. Mark Werrell looking to try and apply pressure to Tomo Ferrando. Little bits of bodywork just flying off some of the cars. There goes number 66, which is the car of Lasse Sorensen. Needs to make progress through the order. Lasse Sorensen had a poor qualifying. Started down in 11th position at the wheel of the number 66 DF1 Racing Chevy. But Alan Day out front, leading the race. Loris Hazemans pushing hard to try and stay with him as they head out of Bernard Martinez, which is turn number 8, and start to descend downhill through the sweeps at 9, 10 and turn number 11. Loris Hazemans pushing hard, desperate to try and get himself back towards victory lane if he can, but Alan Day will want to try and secure his 24th victory of his career if he can. He's moved to the top of the all-time winners list already on 23 over the course of this weekend, but that was in the single points paying races, not the double points paying races that we're into now. We're into the finals part of the weekend. Olivier Hart going side by side with Mark Goossens, runs very wide though coming out of turn number 1. So Olivier Hart, Mark Goossens, Marco Werrell, Tomo Ferrando, Lasse Sorensen dives up the inside of Davide Dallara, so he's finally starting to make progress. The number 66 Chevy in the hands of the big Dane needs to work his way up into contention here because he lies second in the championship standings, 14 points off the lead, and really needs to try and close the gap if he can on his main championship rival Alan Day, who leads the race overall as we go on board with Lasse Sorensen looking to try and fight his way up through the order. Onto the brakes, in towards the left-hander at Adrian Campos, looking to try and gain a place over Mark Goossens if he can. Mark Goossens is looking to try and fight his way past the car of Tomo Ferrando. Tomo Ferrando trying to defend, but I think Mark Goossens will have the inside line when they head towards Aspar, and it looks as though place gained for the Belgian over the Frenchman, whilst the Dane sits there and is ready to pounce as well. But then Mark Goossens runs wide coming out of Aspar, which opens up the door, and Tomo Ferrando takes the place back. So just having gained it a corner later, Mark Goossens finds himself losing the place once more and has now got the EuroNASCAR 2 champion from 2019, Lasse Sorensen, sitting right behind him. A great little fight that it is. Davide Di Lara is not that far away either, as we go on board with Mauro Trioni on board the number 31 car for Cal Racing. That 5.7 litre 400 brake horsepower engine working hard as he looks to try and sneak up the inside of Dario Carzo. All contact between the pair of them. It looks as though Mauro Trioni has got front right damage. Dario Carzo potentially also into the gravel at turn number 1. Yeah, puncture, there it is for Mauro Trioni. It's been a difficult weekend for him. That brings out the safety car. We get the incident cleared up, and once that is cleared up, we can go back to green flag racing. Restart underway. The cars head up towards the start-finish line. The green flag flies. We're almost approaching the half-distance point of this race, but Alan Day has still got plenty of work to do if he wants to try and grab another victory here. He's under pressure from Loris Hazemans. We're almost 3 wide. Further back, Olivier Hart, Giorgio Maggi, and also in the mix as well was Gianmarco Ercoli, but they've all come out pointing in the right direction out of turn number 1. But Alan Day leads, Loris Hazemans second, Olivier Hart. What a fantastic job the 21-year-old Dutchman is doing, sitting there in 3rd position, making his debut this weekend. We've seen him on the podium in his class in the Bathurst 12 Hours before. Lots of historic racing experience as well, Olivier Hart, but he really has been driving superbly well at the wheel of that number 7 Hendricks Ford throughout the course of this weekend. Could be one to watch in 2021 if he returns for a full campaign. Out of turn number 6, which is Aniel Nieto, all of the time Alan Day having to work as hard as he possibly can to try and keep Loris Hazemans behind, whilst this car, Lasse Sorensen, is still trying to work his way up through the order. He is tucked behind the 2009-2010 overall champion. The Frenchman Luca Lasserre lies ahead. Working hard, but even on this 650 metres straight, Lasse Sorensen can't quite catch up by the time they get towards turn number 1. He might have a nibble though heading out of turn 1 and in towards the braking area for Doohan, which is turn number 2. Brakes as late as he possibly dare. Through he goes. Luca Lasserre using all of his experience just to allow the car through, because he knew he was up the inside, and I suspected knew that he was quicker at this stage of the race. So how far up through the order can Lasse Sorensen get? His main championship rival, Alan Day, this car here, leads the race for PK Carsport at this stage. So Chevy leads, Ford for Hendricks Motorsport, Loris Hazemans in 2nd place as we go on board the reigning EuroNASCAR Pro champion, 2019 champion Loris Hazemans. You can see the race leader, Alan Day, agonisingly ahead, but it's so hard in these cars which are equally matched to try and close what is still a very small deficit between the pair of them. And Loris Hazemans will also be conscious that if he starts to lose a bit of pace, there's cars beginning to queue up behind him as well. The first of which is going to be Olivier Hart, who should be able to sneak his way through here. Yeah, slight mistake there for Hazemans. Gianmarco Ercoli is going to squeeze through as well, potentially, and he goes through, the Italian, gaining a place as well. Mark Goossens is the next who will want to try and go through. And once he is through, then it will be up to Lasse Sorensen to try and pick off Loris Hazemans, who all of a sudden just seems to have briefly gone off the boil. So Olivier Hart under enormous pressure from Gianmarco Ercoli. Desperate to see what he might be able to do, Ercoli. Olivier Hart will be looking to try and make a good impression in his first weekend of racing. As we now go back on board with Lasse Sorensen, trying to hunt down the cars that lie ahead. Closing in on Gianmarco Ercoli, has the inside line at Aspar and is able to squeeze his way through. So place gained for Lasse Sorensen, place lost for Gianmarco Ercoli, and now for Lasse Sorensen, the next of the cars he's going to want to try and work his way through and past is going to be Olivier Hart. All of this is playing beautifully into the hands of Alan Day, the race leader, who is miles up the road at this stage and is not under any real pressure at all. Olivier Hart will look to try and hang on to 2nd position, whilst Lasse Sorensen is now up into 3rd from what was a poor qualifying position. Only qualified in 11th position did Lasse Sorensen. A little bit of damage to the front end of Olivier Hart's car. Now, that might be a slight cause for concern, because there is a bit of bodywork that's just rubbing on that front right-hand tyre. Now, it only seems to do it as the car builds up to maximum pace, and it seems to just fold that bit of bodywork back onto the front right-hand tyre, which is going to mean that that side of the car is probably going to heat the tyre up a bit too much. It's going to wear the tyre out a bit more as well than it ought to, which means that grip round through the left-handers, of which there are many here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo, might be a premium. But for Alan Day, no such worries. He's about to turn his way out of Adrian Campos up towards the start-finish line where the checkered flag is going to fly. And Alan Day at the wheel of car number 24 claims his 24th career win in EuroNASCAR and is now 24 points ahead of Lasse Sorensen in the championship. Is that an omen for the course of this weekend? So Alan Day will be delighted that he's heading back towards victory lane. It strengthens his lead in the championship. Let's hear from the winner.
Well, it was a tough one at the beginning. It's a bummer to lose my my teammate that was behind me. I think it could be an amazing result like yesterday for the team, but I don't know what happened. Besides that, everything went well. Loris gave me some pressure. I don't know what happened to him, but suddenly he disappeared. But the moment he disappeared, I just realized there is another race, and it's not tomorrow. It's in a few hours, I guess. So the moment he disappeared, I decided to save the tires and save the brakes and everything for the next race. I don't know what is the calculation right now, but still 50% of the job done. It's a nice to win, but it's ain't over yet.
Alan Day claims the win, but knows there's still work to do. In the junior trophy for drivers under 25, Lasse Sorensen claimed the win for Gianmarco Ercoli and Giorgio Maggi. And in the challenger trophy for amateur drivers in EuroNASCAR Pro, Davide Dallara took the win.